There it is. Okay. Welcome, everybody, to the 13th edition of the Shadow Collective, a Star Wars podcast. Wow, we're calling it that now.
Star Wars podcast. Yeah. Well, so people know what we're doing, you know?
No,
That's right.
And it's right, but it's just funny because this is the first time we're actually calling it that.
Yeah.
But everybody, I am Darth Eldor. As always, here with my good buddies Andy Beats
I.
and Swampgrass.
Hello.
How you both doing?
Hi. Good. How are you?
I'm all right.
I'm doing pretty good over here as well. Yep.
All right, so
Yep.
we have a lot to cover on this one.
Do we?
Oh,
Do we? There's been a few episodes of a certain show, right?
Maybe a couple, yeah.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Wait, what? There's a show? No, I'm just joking.
Wait, here. Get our viewers going. Wait, what? There's a show?
All right, so let's get right into it. I mean, let's not waste any time today. There's just so much good stuff. All right,
and I'm sure we could talk about a lot.
Oh,
so,
no, us? No, I don't know about that.
I mean, yeah, this will be over in like a half an hour or so.
All right, so we only have one real piece of news today. Decided to just kind of came up, and it was showing about Hasbro. They did a massive crowdfunding to make the Ghost, which surprise. We've gotten to see in these last couple of episodes of Ahsoka, and apparently they blew away their goals. So I'm just gonna read the story here. It says here, we've known for a while that Hasbro's latest Star Wars crowdfunder, first launched at San Diego Comic-Con this summer, had successfully reached its initial goal: turn the iconic freighter of Rebels and Ahsoka, Hera Syndulla, Ghost, into a huge new toy. But now the campaign is over, and we know Hera will be bringing a few friends along the way. Although it was touch and go in the final days as to whether or not fans would hit every stretch goal, Hasbro's Ghost campaign ultimately concluded with 21,768 backers throwing down $500 each to obtain their very own vintage collection scaled version of the starship and a figure of its pilot, Hera. That's well beyond the 8,000 initially required for the campaign to move forward. Goal not every previous Star Wars HasLab. What do they call it?
HasLab.
That's kind of
Hasbro Lab.
Hasbro.
I mean, I get it, but
Yeah.
Campaign has hit. But it's also ultimately well beyond the 11,000, 14,000, and 17,000 thresholds. Hasbro set as stretch goals to see the ship come with 3 more members of the Rebels crew as they appeared in the animated series, 4th and final season. Ezra Bridger, Kanan Jarrus, and Garazeb Zebarelios. Where's Sabine and Chopper, you ask? Well, good news / bad news. The good news is that they're both coming. Bad news is that it's only of a sort. Hasbro recently revealed that new versions of Sabine and Chopper, including the same card backs inspired by Sabine's mural from Rebels and Ahsoka to match the included figures with the Ghost, are not being added as a bonus for the campaign, overwhelmingly hitting its targets. Instead, unlocking the prior 3 stretch goals will give backers a chance to purchase the currently unrevealed figures at a later date. Chopper is already in the set in one form. His head is grafted into the droid slot on the included Phantom 2 shuttle, but it's not quite the same as having the proper figure of him, and the only other way to get a version of Sabine in the TVC 3.7 scale, which I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure either.
Is the
Not familiar with the
like miniature.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, we'll just go with that. Is the upcoming version of her based on how she appears in Ahsoka rather than Rebels? You'd think with nearly 22,000 people throwing $500 a piece, the toy company could bundle them in, but alas, Anyway, click through to see the plenty. Yeah, that's actually just the pictures of it all. I mean, it looks
Yeah,
pretty
they're
good.
pretty cool pictures. If anybody's like interested in collecting Star Wars toys and stuff, I recommend checking it out because yeah, it's very cool. Like the action figures like have enough room inside the ship. It's that big and yeah, it looks really cool.
Let me see here. Yeah, I haven't really.
But yeah, it makes sense for them to not bundle it business wise because then they sell it piece by piece. But
I mean, if anything, this kind of. I mean, obviously, I don't know the true scale of it, but the scale that I'm seeing here, it almost gives me the old feeling of like back when I was a kid. They had the Millennium Falcon. You could like
Yeah,
open up parts
the
of the
top.
ship and you
Yep.
move characters around and play in there.
yeah, or like that Death Star that they had that like splits open in the middle.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
So the 3.75 inches like the normal size for like figurines and stuff. So I think it's
Like a GI Joe or
yeah, like a GI
bigger?
Joe size. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
It's just so weird to see it under that when you see it like
Yeah.
that. Like, what's that supposed to mean?
Yeah, so if it is that size, that is, that's a pretty big ship.
Yeah, the
Yeah, it's
detail
true.
on it's pretty neat. It's really nice.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, if you guys are definitely interested in like that, go for it. I would love to. I don't have the room for something like that in where I am, but kind of a shame. I would love to have a collection.
Yeah, it would be nice to have the money. It's sort of like Lego, right? Like I would love to have all the Lego Star Wars stuff, but the prices on Lego is just ridiculous. And the size of them too. Like the Death Star and Millennium Falcon, those are big. There's huge like AT-AT walkers like
Yeah. I don't know if you remember Alex Balmain's.
yes. Yep.
He actually just bought the Millennium Falcon.
Lucky.
Yeah.
Lucky, man.
He was able to
Just
find one. He's finding the light kit for it as well.
oh the light oh nice. Very nice.
And I told him if you do not stream it, so I can watch you put this thing together, I will never forgive you.
I will hunt you down.
I would. It's just one of those things. I would love to actually sit there and watch somebody work on.
I would too. I would definitely do that. Yeah.
So,
I always thought Lego was relaxing and to do and put it together and stuff. Like it's nice.
yeah, I agree with that. And it's one of those things. Like I said, if come to find out he ends up getting that together, I'll definitely announce it here. People can join in. I think it'd just be a fun just to watch that thing together.
Hera.
Yeah,
Okay,
that
so
sounds-
the figurines actually like sit in the Phantom as well.
Mhm.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
I was looking at the Phantom. I was like, that looks kind of small to put them in there, but it Hera's standing
Yeah.
up next to it, so
Yeah, I think it's just that ghost is that big.
yeah.
Huge. Because even where it shows like the bridge and they're like sitting on the bridge and stuff, it looks very big.
It looks very relaxed.
Yeah, like
There's enough
not like
space.
crammed in there. Yeah.
Yeah. Zeb looks like his normal self on the couch,
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely looks like a pretty good setup. Even the figures look pretty good.
Yeah, I was
I mean,
thinking that too.
lots
Well,
of detail,
maybe
lots of.
maybe not as much Ezra, but the rest of them look good.
Yeah.
But even then, I mean, like all the different weapons. It comes with a ignited lightsaber and unignited lightsaber.
And
They
a
actually
Loth
have
cat.
Yeah, it also has the little the scout trooper helmet for him, like it had in the show. So it's like looking at all that. It's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, it comes with a lot of stuff.
So,
It looks like Ezra's older than he actually is. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
he
Like
looks
his
like,
face looks like it's like aged.
Yeah.
I mean, you almost get the feeling like they kind of went back to, like they were saying with the hero, well, not the hero one, the Sabine one. You're gonna like you're almost getting the older version, like when we finally do see him in Ahsoka, that's what we're gonna get.
Yeah, because it does say in that article they have um, whatever plans for Rebels as well as Ahsoka lines. So yeah, lots of.
Should probably put this for
Oh yeah,
the. um,
I could tell the bot to do that as well. Actually,
Spoilers. Come on. Everybody's watched it by now, right?
oh, of course. Speaking of spoilers, though, maybe it's about time we get into that. um,
I
so
have an idea, guys. What if we like, you know how we have the synopsis or breakdown of the episodes? What if we alternate each of us just read them all quick, and then we can just talk about the whole thing as like one thing? Or do you want to like specifically break down each episode?
I don't know.
I'm trying to
I
think about
guess I
that
could
one
ask
because
that before. I guess I could ask that in preparation, but
Yeah.
it's not even that. It's just like, wow, I never thought of it that way.
because like there's like so much like blurring of the lines because they're all like such direct continuations. I feel like I don't remember which episode's which, but
Mm.
I
I mean,
think,
definitely the first two for sure. Like those
yeah.
were together, right?
Hmm.
I mean, probably definitely try to do it that way. Maybe do the first two together. I mean, because and that kind of evolved together.
Yeah.
I would say.
Hey, Eldar, are they all called Master and Apprentice? I think we've got 3 on here. I think you put all the
Yeah.
titles the same almost.
Part 3 and part 4.
It must.
Oh, and part 1. Yeah, yeah.
That's right. I can fix that while we're talking.
Isn't part 1 Master and Apprentice? No.
Part one was
I
Master
think so.
Apprentice.
Okay.
Yeah, I fixed the second one and didn't realize I didn't fix the other.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I'll read the first one if you want while you're
Yeah,
doing
go
that.
for it.
All right, so part 1, Master and Apprentice. Balin Skoll, a former Jedi, now working as a mercenary, and his apprentice Shin Haiti, I don't know exactly. Assault a New Republic cruiser and rescue Morgan Elspeth, who had been previously captured by Ahsoka Tano, as we've seen in Mando season 2, right? I think. Yeah,
Yep.
Is it season 2?
I think so. Um, yeah, Elspeth informs Skoll that Ahsoka is searching for Grand Admiral Thrawn, who has been missing for years after previously being defeated by Ezra Bridger. Ahsoka and Huyang obtain a star map from the, or wait, yeah, to the location of Thrawn and potentially Bridger from a Night Sister temple before being
Okay.
informed of Elspeth's escape. Regrouping with the fleet, Ahsoka meets with General Harrison Dula, whereupon Huyang reveals that the star map is still locked. Syndulla advises Ahsoka to obtain the help of Sabine Wren, Ahsoka's former Padawan. In unlocking the map, Ahsoka and Huyang travel to Lothal and meet with Wren, who takes the map. Wait. Oh yeah, who takes the map? Just as Wren unlocks the map, she is confronted by Shin, I should say, who steals the map and stabs Wren during a duel. Directed by Dave Filoni, written by Dave Filoni.
So we're gonna keep going.
Because they were all written by Dave Filoni, but
Yeah,
Yeah, it's true.
that's
it's
the
up to you guys.
spoiler alert
Do you
part
guys want to
right
go
there.
through them all? I mean, I don't have a problem with doing it that way.
I mean, you just have a huge discussion.
We can go there.
All right. I guess we'll read the second
Continue
one here.
on.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So part 2, Toil and Trouble. So Skull and Haiti take the map to the planet Cetos, where Elsbeth reveals that Thrawn is trapped in another galaxy. Ren, who survived Hades attack,
I'm
recovers
just gonna
and
be calling her Shin.
Shin, I think, yeah,
Yeah.
and informs Ahsoka of her findings and also traces the droids that attacked her to Elsbeth's factories on Corellia. Seeking the map, Ahsoka and Syndulla travel to the Corellian shipyards, where they discover a massive hyperdrive being built by workers loyal to the Galactic Empire. Syndulla, I keep wanting Syndulla chases after the transport carrying the hyperdrive, while Ahsoka duels Marok, a former Inquisitor working for Elsbeth. Marok and the transport escape, but not before Syndulla's astromech droid Chopper attaches a tracking device after arresting the shipyard workers. Ahsoka is contacted by Ren, who is ready to become her Padawan again and find Bridger. Elsbeth is contacted by Skull, Haiti, and Marok, who obtained the hyperdrive so they can finish building her ship, the Eye of Sion, and find Thrawn. Skull senses that Ahsoka will come for them. Directed by Steph Green and written once again by Mr. Filoni.
All right. Guess I'll go for part 3 here, which was named Time to Fly. We'll see how I do with the last names. It's messing me up too. So
Yeah, I
I'm just gonna.
definitely like Shin more than Hattie because I don't
Yeah.
I
Well,
don't think they called her Hattie in the
no, they
show,
don't.
so
Yeah.
I don't. I'm like, yeah,
Yeah, I
He
think
he just says Shin every time, right?
yeah.
I'm just gonna correct it wherever I can, and if I don't, I tried. All right, so reading this here, it says Sabine restarts her training under Ahsoka and Hu Yang's guidance as she struggles with her inability to use the Force. Hera meets with Mon Mothma, the Chancellor of the New Republic, and a group of influential senators in order to gain permission to send public forces to Cetos. Despite Mon Mothma's support, the senators refuse to believe that Thrawn and Ezra Bridger are alive and deny Hera's request. Having been informed of this by Hera, Ahsoka, Sabine, and Hu Yang travel to Cetos, where they discover the Eye of Sion, but are intercepted by a squadron of fighters led by Shin and Marok as Morgan Elsbeth uses the lasers on the Eye of Sion to fire on them. Just as Hu Yang finishes scanning the Eye of Sion, Ahsoka's shuttle takes a direct hit, forcing the group to make an emergency landing on the planet, passing through a pot of Purgle in its skies along the way to evade the remaining enemy fighters. After taking refuge in a forest, Hu Yang gives his full analysis on the Eye of Sion, which he classifies as a hyperjump ring. However, Shin soon becomes aware of their attempt to hide, prompting Balin to dispatch his forces into the woods to hunt.
Directed once again by Steph Green.
Yes.
Oh yeah, and written by Dave Filoni. In case, yeah.
Oh, Filoni wrote that? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a different one.
It's a different Filoni this time though.
The other Dave Filoni.
Yeah.
Philip.
Number 2. Philip.
Philip Filoni.
All right. So.
All right. I'll just get this other one.
You
out.
get it out of the way, man.
Let's do it. Part 4, Fallen Jedi. Ahsoka thinks about the implications of reaching Thrawn and Bridger, giving Ren pause since she remains determined to find her friend. Moments later, they are attacked by several of Skull's forces, but are able to hold them off, fearing that Skull will acquire the coordinates to Thrawn's location. Ahsoka and Ren head to his base, but are intercepted by Shin and Marok.
Marok. That.
Ahsoka kills Marok and continues on alone, while Ren stays behind to hold off Shin, who realizes that Ren cannot wield the Force. Ahsoka reaches Skull, and the two engage in a duel. Ahsoka is able to retrieve the map, but she tosses it aside after it burns her hand. Skull overpowers her and sends Ahsoka plummeting into the ocean as Ren watches in horror. Ren then holds up the map at gunpoint, but Skull verbally manipulates her into handing it over and promising her that she will see Bridger again. After Thrawn's location is revealed, Skull destroys the map and boards the Eye of Sion with Shin and Ren as their prisoner. A squadron of New Republic fighters led by Syndulla arrives at Cetos and tries to stop the freighter from jumping into hyperspace, but fails to do so. Meanwhile, Ahsoka awakens in the world between worlds, where she seemingly reunited with her former master, Anakin Skywalker. Written by, or directed by Peter Ramsey this time, written by Dave Filoni.
Peter Ramsey did he do? He probably did a couple Mando shows or Mando episodes, or possibly the Book of Boba Fett.
It's not ringing a
It
bell.
sounds
I'm gonna look
familiar. Honestly, yeah, I think he did one maybe.
Oh, he's the one who did all the Spider-Man stuff that we were talking about.
Oh, was it? Okay. I
Yeah.
feel like that keeps coming up
Yeah.
every
He
time.
did like all the Spider-Mans more or less. And a bunch of other stuff too.
It's funny that we bring that up, because I think one of the things we were talking about is how we're interested in how that's going to play into the episode. Last time we were talking about it, and here we are, and I'm not going to lie, it's an amazing episode. So
Oh, absolutely.
it's like whatever he did a great job with it.
Yeah.
I'd love to see him do some more work with this. I know he only got the one episode, but they go to a season 2. I'd love to see him come on to work on that.
Or anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that was a really great episode.
Well, it was the best out of the 4. That's for sure.
And
For me, for me, there was a lot of really cool moments in the early episodes as well, though. For instance, did you guys realize before this that Elspeth is a Night Sister? I was like, holy, that's amazing.
Okay, I think it was only brought up in this series, because before we had no idea. Like,
Right.
we just thought.
I wasn't sure if it was like known or not.
No,
it
it only, in the beginning, like when you first see her in that first episode, it definitely, I didn't think that. And then when they started talking about the whole, when they went to Cetos, and then she used the power on the stone, or on the map, whatever it was. You're like, okay, all right.
Yeah, and in the temple you see like Mother Talzin, I'm pretty sure, on the wall. So
I actually missed,
cool.
like, I saw them, but I didn't put 2 and 2 together right off the bat. I guess, you noticed the whole using the Night Sisters, Night Brothers sort of witchcraftery stuff, or whatever it is.
The Ichor, the Ichor.
The Ichor.
Yeah.
Ichor.
Yeah. I call it Ichor, but apparently the proper pronunciation is Ichor. So
I found it funny because it was kind of weird to me. I mean, I'm sitting there and I'm looking at this character this morning, and I'm watching her in The Mandalorian, and like we said, no impression whatsoever that she's a Night Sister. And now that I look at it now and know what she was, it's like she could have put up so much more of a fight in
against Mando.
Well,
Or against Mando and Ahsoka.
Against Ahsoka, yeah.
And I'm sitting here and I'm saying, Why'd she hold that
But
back?
also Ahsoka does have experience with Night Sisters and stuff too, so I'm sure
Whoa,
thunder
Was
going
that a
on.
big thunder?
a little bit.
Sounds like it.
Holy crap, man! I think it just.
That's wild.
I need to change my underwear.
It's like
I thought a
Claudette.
train crashed.
Yeah, yeah. Was that a plane?
That was like right
Yeah.
out of my window here.
Holy
Wow.
mackerel! Are you okay over there? You good?
I'm gonna be all right. And
All right,
my
like,
equipment's okay, so far so good.
so far so good. If we go down, folks, just so you know, it's
Seems like
'cause,
the power's on.
the power's
but-
still on, but
Nah, we're still running. We're still here.
I think with Elsbeth, I believe she's not like she's a she I think she was saying she's a descendant from a Night Sisters. She's still got the power, it seems,
She
right?
said she's a survivor, so
A
I
survivor.
imagine she was possibly young when it happened.
Well-
The
Well,
purge or whatever.
there was the in the Clone Wars, wasn't there? There was an episode where they were like all wiped out.
Mhm.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure there was an episode like
Yeah.
that, and maybe she was talking about that. Maybe she was one of the survivors from that, like that thing there, right?
Yeah.
She could have been young. Yeah.
Yeah, there were
Yeah,
only a
what-
few who survived.
like- I kind of thought all Night Sisters were like that Zabrak kind of race with the little horn things on their head and stuff.
Well, those are Night Brothers, yeah. Pretty
But
sure.
well,
No?
it's a lot of the girls have it too. But or at least in the Clone Wars, Talzin is wearing like headgear, so you can't really see. Um, but yeah, I looked into it, and I guess there are other races on Dathomir. than
Okay.
Zabraks, so.
I like that they start to play into the idea that the Night Sisters and Night Brothers, so to speak. I mean, even though they made their home on Dathomir, they're not necessarily from Dathomir. They might actually be from this other universe or this other galaxy that we're going to. And they just made their way here, and that's where they settled, and that's where they kind of did their thing, so to speak.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, and that's kind of what I was saying too when I looked it up. Like Dathomir itself, like the original inhabitants, isn't the Night Sisters. Like that's whatever. Like Zabraks came there and kind of started that religion and all that. So I was like, oh, okay,
Mm.
very interesting.
I mean, it also
But it is very cool to see it come to like
Yeah.
live action, right?
Yeah,
Very
yeah.
cool.
Well, I think the cool thing for me is, I mean, we're going to go to this other galaxy. Maybe the way the Night Sisters, maybe that's the force of that galaxy over there, and maybe somebody who's a Jedi who has the force. That's not, you don't see it that much in that galaxy, so maybe it'd be interesting to see different kind of world where something like that's going on.
Yeah, like maybe the Jedi won't have as much power to draw from over there or something like that.
Well, it'd be
Yeah.
like opposite, maybe, yeah. Whereas there's very little Night Sisters or Night Brothers now, and over there it's kind of the opposite, maybe.
Yeah,
Who knows?
that's maybe something. I mean, I remember reading things, and they always said that like Palpatine kind of feared Mother Talzin in a sense.
Well-
and maybe that's why. Maybe he's done his research into some of these other galaxies, and he's seen just how powerful the Night Sisters really are. I mean, that's stuff that we haven't even gotten into yet.
Yeah,
Like,
well,
I'm pretty
and,
sure that was the reason why they got wiped out, right? That they
Yeah.
got whatever,
In
because
the-
he was uncertain about their powers. He's like, if I can't control it, I'm not gonna, you're not gonna stay alive.
Yeah, I want to.
Yeah.
Exactly. I get it.
Yeah, in the Clone Wars, there was an episode where there was like these tribal people that worship Mother Talzin, and she was going to give them power to I can't remember, to like some kind of crazy cataclysm where everything dies or something. And yeah, that's a lot of power to leave unchecked for sure.
Is that the episode with
I think Mace and
Mason.
Jar Jar
Yeah, yeah,
going
that's
like,
it.
Jar Jar.
Misa Paulo Mason.
Gee. Oh my goodness, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, it's like I don't know where to start.
Okay, so
Um,
I just want to start. I want to start with saying that Ray Stevenson's performance in the show so far is like absolutely phenomenal. Everything he's
Amazing.
doing, everything that he's not doing, he can just stand there in the camera and just look sinister, or just, everything, all the lines he's saying, the way he's saying it. The fight with Ahsoka was crazy, how he just like
Amazing.
turned it on. Like he was just like
Yeah.
and then he was just like, it was like he clicked, he's like, and
Yeah, he's like,
he just like put it into second gear, right? I was like,
yeah,
holy crap, that was
and
awesome.
I mean, you could see how he was overpowering her
Oh
every
yeah.
bit of the way through the fight.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, where you see most Jedi are more finesse with their fighting. He's like going in. It's just like you could see. That is the one thing I will say is you could see it in Rosario Dawson's face as they were continuing on the fight. Ahsoka was wearing down.
Right.
yeah.
Like,
And she kept like looking at that burnt hand too.
yeah,
So she's
it's
like,
like
ah,
I get that in ways she was also, her mind wasn't on the fight as much, especially when Shin
yeah,
showed up
injured.
and she thought possibly Sabine was dead.
Yeah.
It definitely messed with her, but she was already worn down pretty heavy. I mean, those strikes coming from Balin were not baby strikes.
They were brute force, man.
Yeah.
Brute force. It was like he almost had a long sword, the long sword,
Yeah.
and he was just like
Yeah.
really going at it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's like he was chopping a tree.
Yeah.
but even from things I was watching, they were saying he used the same form that Anakin used.
Well,
In
I noticed one thing I really liked is like she kept changing forms and then he would change form to like a counter
A
to
counter
that
form.
form. He's like trying to like show her that, yeah, I know all those forms
I can
too.
do it too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I really like that part when they were kind of like in between strikes, like switching forms and stuff. There's just this tension and
But this
reading each other.
this also adds to the mystery of his character too, right? I still like, there's still so much I feel that we're gonna find out about him as well. Like, I really hope that there's a little bit of a backstory that we can see develop a little bit, right? But yeah, it was definitely, you can definitely tell it was crazy.
I mean, it'll be a shame if it comes to the point where we didn't get the backstory because obviously we had plans for him to go 2-3 seasons and it just didn't work
Right.
out that way, and
Yeah.
that will be disappointing. But
I gotta
I
say that
understand.
kind of made me like pay more attention to his character and like really connect with it like knowing that the actor is passed, like just yeah, it just seems like I was paying more attention to the character that I maybe would have if I didn't know that too.
Okay, so like one thing that I was thinking just now, like what happens if he was supposed to be? So if there's a season 2, what if he's supposed to be in that season? Do you think that they do the deep fake stuff and have an actor play him and
Well, they
just,
already like Tarkin, Leia, etc.
or like
um
Luke, like, you know what I mean?
Luke,
Like,
yeah, they already do it, so
I know they
I
do,
can't
but do you
imagine
think that
why
they
they wouldn't.
would they do it? I mean, or are
I
they
think
gonna?
that's
I
like they're
think
kind of making him into a character that's like identifiable by his like stature and his like tone of voice. So I feel like that's something that's very mimicable.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think they will
I mean
if
I
it
think
is in the plans.
more than anything it's going to come down to obviously what his family thinks. His
That
family is
too.
okay with the idea.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I I don't know how I feel about it. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm kind of hoping in a way now that maybe this is just a character that we won't see after this season, just so
Yeah.
that we don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, I know a lot of times these Hollywood contracts and stuff though, they're pretty sketchy as far as like owning somebody's likeness.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of shady stuff that goes on with that. So like Back to the Future, the second one, I can't think of his name. Crispin Glover is in the movie, but
Yep.
it's not him. It's like some kind of like fake version of him, or they took like clip footage and put it together or something, and he made zero money off that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So they own his likeness like through their contract or something like that. It's crazy.
Yeah, I don't think it would be something like that. I'd be I'd be I'd be shocked if they tried to pull it hard like that with it. But
I also feel that he may. I mean, he may be struck down by the end of the series, and I feel
Yeah, it
like
might not be in the plan at all.
right. I feel like more like possibly Shin might continue. You know what I mean? Because she seems to more. I don't know. Like she has more. Because he's sort of in the darks, the gray, the gray area right now. Right? He's not.
Mhm.
He gives you
Yeah.
kind of that like Qui-Gon Jinn sort of feel a little bit.
Mhm.
In the sense
And
where
like
he has no trust in any, in the Jedi and all that stuff, and lost my faith a long time ago, blah blah blah, all that stuff, right?
yeah, and Elspeth calls him out for being soft too.
Right. Yeah.
She's like, you have respect for them or so, I don't know, something like that. And he's like, true.
but I mean, he
Oh
was
yeah,
the one that kind of said it was more of a respect kind of thing.
mm-hmm.
I mean, as this has gone on, I'm finding that I'm a little, even though as much as I love the Balin Skull character, and don't get me wrong, it's a great character. It's Shin who's actually intriguing me a little because the more I watch, I mean, she kind of plays off as this like, I'm dark side, I'm evil, I'm coming at you, I'm not afraid to kill you if I have to, stab you, do whatever's necessary. But there are moments that you see her and she'll look around and she'll be, Master, what's going on?
Right.
Like, she knows something is not right here. She knows something's not something is weird. So I
You
tend to
know, she's
wonder.
being replaced by Sabine.
I tend to almost wonder if she's the one that's actually going to be the one that ends up turning and saying, "No, something's wrong here,"
Well,
rather
that's
than
what I feel.
Balin.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think Balin's the one that might actually push and go through with everything at the end.
Well,
Whatever's
he
coming.
seems to more want it he seems to more want it than her, because there's that scene where she's like, what are we doing? And like after Elizabeth leaves the little, I guess they call it the henge, I guess the henge, or the
Oh
whatever they
yeah,
call it.
Oh,
Anyways,
where the map was, yeah.
where the map was,
yeah,
yeah, it's like similar to Stonehenge, but I guess they call it the henge or the when. Anyways, but where she's like, what's in it? Like almost like, what's in it for us? Like what are we getting out of this? And he's just like, for some it's this, for some it's that, but for us it's, a lot of power, more power than you can ever blah blah blah, right? So
yeah,
it seems like he's more,
yeah.
into
His
fulfilling whatever they're doing.
Right.
yeah,
And then she's
yeah.
just like, okay, you're my master, I'm here. But maybe she kind of grows a pair eventually, I don't know, like,
Yeah,
when is it going to be too far, I guess, right?
yeah. Yeah, it seems like yeah, he like for him he's looking at the end game, looking at the finish line, like the the ultimate power that he's looking for, right? But for her, she's just like she's being a loyal dog, but like he said, she's like seems like she could bite back anytime.
Well, I mean, she kicks butt, man. Let me tell you, like
Yeah,
it's that the fight with her and Sabine on the in the episode 4 there in the forest, man. It was crazy. It was like
cool.
it was cool, and like you can tell they were each honing their own weapon, because in the beginning she's going after her with the blasters and the pinpoint precision almost. Like I think somebody had slowed down some of the footage, and some of the blaster points were kind of like where she was jumping off the tree and stuff. Like it was hitting or the tree, you know what I mean? Like ting as she pulled off the tree, right? So like they were both strong, and then yeah, obviously Sabine doesn't have the force, so she
Yeah.
goes flying, everything flies off, and she takes a lightsaber. But she still held her own, with that as well. So
I
And
have to
she
say,
left her helmet behind too.
I know, right?
Her
Yeah,
Mando
yeah. Well,
Mandalorian.
left both, right? The Mando
Yeah.
helmet plus the blasters.
Hmm.
I have to say though, the one thing that did impress me that I was actually I really liked was there's the point where in the trailer you see Sabine on the ground and and it looks like she's trying to do a force push. And it's that point where Shin kind of just looks at her and she's like, "I have no power."
You have no power.
But then all of a sudden you see her close her fist, and that's when she shoots her blaster at her. It's like, never underestimate a Mandalorian.
Yeah, the hidden blaster in her van brace, the Mandalorian van brace. Yeah, that was cool. I like that.
It's like,
But yeah, the have you guys heard of like the mask theory thing with the intros? So like the
Like with
intro
Disney
where it's like
Plus with all the helmets.
yeah,
I
so
have
it always
not. No.
shows like Darth Vader and C3PO, and then or I think R2 after that. So there's like a start to it, but then after that it's stuff to do with the show, and there's kind of like hints at things. So I guess in the Mandalorian there was like a dark side Mandalorian helmet, hinting at Moff Gideon coming back with his Beskar suit and all that. So this time, what I noticed, so the first episode, everything is dark side, so it's hard to figure anything out. But then the after that, we see dark side Mandalorian helmet again. So possibly Sabine, like just speculation, obviously. But what's the other thing? Oh yeah, light side Inquisitor helmet. So kind of interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't really match up right now. I would imagine, because
Yeah, but like, what if like not necessarily Marok, but like some other Inquisitor comes along, or like Sabine is a prisoner right now,
right,
but she could be seduced by the dark side, and then like even when Ahsoka was training her, she's like, anger is easy to get or quick to give power, but throws you off balance and stuff like that.
right.
So as we know, that kind of like leans towards like you know temptation of the dark side and all that.
But I mean, there is a lot of that. Yeah, so far throughout the 4 episodes, there's a lot of toying on both sides. Because even with Ahsoka, like Ahsoka, when Shin comes back and she sees her, and she's like, "Oh, you killed Sabine." Like when she force pushed her and like did that. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a little dark side-ish, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the way she did. So she's toying, and that's kind
Yeah.
of like, oh yeah. So there's
Yeah,
a
I
lot of
kind
that
of
going
felt
on.
that too. They did kind of like, yeah, she like used her anger, right?
But that episode, yeah, for sure too, because you could see when she gave over the star map to Balin, like it seems like she's sort of submitting to whatever. I mean, I know it's her Achilles heel is Ezra, so
Ezra.
she's going to she's going to. Well, she did exactly the opposite of what Ahsoka told her. Are you with me? Are you good? Like, you got my back?
Yeah.
All that stuff,
But
right?
Yeah,
but
at
if
that
you
point,
recall too, that's what they did with Anakin. That's what Palpatine did with Anakin, right?
Yeah.
He's like, Padme, right? Padme, you want to have Padme back, right?
Yeah.
Like that was the whole thing.
Yeah.
Or the ones you love, I guess he didn't specifically say Padme, but you know
yeah, but
what
at
I
the
mean.
same time, I mean, if I'm looking at it from the angle of Sabine, I just watched Ahsoka die. So whether I mean, yeah, I got your back, but now at the same time,
Yeah,
if
no.
I don't give you this map, I'm dead. I mean, so
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. I mean,
and I don't know, and I
I
don't
see
know
it.
if this guy's going to keep his word either way.
I don't know. I think he will keep his word, but I think things going around, like Morgan probably will be like, why is she here? Or try to kill her, you know what I mean? And then Shin tried to kill her, like right off the bat.
Yeah.
Right? Shin, release her, Shin. So I think he is, despite what his character seems or what he's displayed so far, I think he's true to his word. You know, like especially the fact that, you know, we're pushing on this mission. We got to finish the mission. You know what I mean? Like, so I think he'd be true to the word, but I think just the surrounding characters will possibly try to get rid of her. But, you know, obviously that won't happen.
Yeah, I mean, I could see it.
Yeah, I think what I this is like kind of a, you know, wild prediction, but what I think is going to happen is he's going to groom Sabine. She's going to start to have some degree of like use of the force in a dark side manner, and then yeah, I don't know. Either Sabine will like, you know, turn on them, or she will like become one of their apprentices or something like that.
I don't foresee. I hope that Sabine doesn't get the force in the way that people are thinking that she's gonna get it. I think she's gonna get it in the sense that it's gonna be more based off her fighting skills, like spider sense almost. More, it's gonna help her fight, but she won't have the force to push things or guide things. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's gonna be in that aspect. I don't think she's gonna get force powers to push or to choke or whatever.
I think they did kind of foreshadow that she's going to be like blinded at some point or unable to see and like fighting using her senses, like with that training scene with Ahsoka where she has the blinder mask.
Mm.
I'm like, usually when they show something like this, later on it'll be whatever relevant to the situation, you know?
I think I'm kind of halfway between where you guys are. I think I agree with Andy as far as the heightened senses and ability. I think that's exactly what's gonna, almost the way most people have always played with the theory that Han Solo might have just a hint of that force sensitivity that makes him such a good pilot.
Right.
Yeah, that's his
But
luck.
that's
His luck is part of the force or
Yeah.
whatever.
right.
Yeah.
It's really just like,
Where he's just going, yeah, because he always says, "Oh, that's hokey pokey stuff," or "hocus pocus," or whatever it is, right?
but it's
Yeah.
basically the force's way of saying, yeah, I'm in you still a little bit.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But
Like when he took out Boba Fett.
so I can
Oh,
see
Blind.
Boba
Yeah.
Fett,
Just knocks him right in the sand or the
Sarlacc.
Sarlacc.
Yeah. So I could see that. I could see her being maybe a little more like, it might help her being, especially since she's now adept with a lightsaber. It puts her in that situation where she's able to at least fight for a little while against an actual Jedi. But end of the day, she's not gonna ever beat a Jedi or Sith. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody wants to see that, to be honest.
Right. At the same time, I almost get the impression like they are gonna have her move something. That cup, it's not gonna go to her hand. It's gonna go like half a millimeter, or it's just gonna
Yeah.
nudge.
Yeah, vibrate a little bit.
But at the same time, when you look at it, somebody with the Force, obviously, you saw Ahsoka sit there, goes right to her hand. Anakin, right to his hand. I could see to being in a situation where you're working your whole life trying to make this happen, and that's about the most you'll ever get. Is maybe I can get this to move like half a millimeter, but I can't get it to ever come to my hand.
Right.
And if they do that much, like saying she worked so hard to try to get that far, and that's all she could ever get, I'll give them that. Sure, you can have that. But if she suddenly comes out and she's doing backflips and twirling lightsabers like a master, and suddenly she's force pushing like spaceships out of the way, yeah, something's wrong. I don't want to see this.
Spaceships out of the way.
Oh, what if she has like Night Sister magic? Oh, that'd be cool.
I mean, it would be, but
I would like to see if there is going to be more Night Sister stuff. I'm really into that.
I feel like they're setting it up.
Yeah.
I mean,
Actually, one thing I was thinking about when we said earlier the henge, I feel like that might be. I want to look it up because that episode that I was talking about, there's kind of a scene where they have a henge like that, and I want to look it up and see if that is the same planet. Could be. Could be.
I mean, your idea.
yeah, I think they've named the planet, right? That they're going to.
Yeah, it's no, I mean the planet that they were at with the henge. What's it called?
Cetos.
Yeah.
Cetos.
Yep,
Cetos. But I don't remember what it was on that Clone Wars episode. What it was called.
Peridia. That's the planet they're going to. Peridia is where they're going, right? Yeah,
I think that's
Peridia.
what they're
Yeah.
calling it at this point.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if when they get there, it's going to be kind of like the same Stonehenge. You know, it's like a direct line to another Stonehenge or a henge area like that.
Mm-hmm.
Definite possibility. It's funny because we've talked so much about this, and I feel like we haven't even begun to scrape the surface of
Anything.
of any of this yet. I mean, we haven't even talked about the New Republic yet. We haven't talked about
Nope.
Carson Tiva.
Arson.
You know,
Captain Tiva.
I've got to say, I'm not surprised that we saw him. I was a little surprised we didn't see Zab in that setup.
Yeah.
I don't think he's flying X-wings though.
He was in a suit though when we last saw him.
Yeah, but he could have been flying something else.
Yeah, it did seem like whatever ship they were on, he had some sort of big role on that ship, whatever it was.
I think in the mass fleet that's there, I think he's in one of those ships. He's there somewhere, I think.
I think he's more like an Akbar kind of role, like a leader of a capital ship or whatever, maybe. No,
I don't know. I don't know how much of a pilot he was though. Like he wasn't like in the series. He wasn't.
Yeah, but yeah, that's true. But I don't know. The captains of those like big capital ships don't always seem to be pilots.
No,
like,
yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like fighter pilots or whatever.
And there are, but as I'm thinking about the New Republic stuff, there's little things that I'm noticing, but I'm kind of like wondering. It's like, well, we've seen Home One throughout all 4 episodes. I haven't seen Akbar yet. It's like,
yeah, right, eh? Home One is his ship,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and we haven't seen Akbar at all.
It's like I'm surprised we
I
haven't
feel
seen
like
him.
did they say his name? I feel like they said his name
No.
or something at some point. No.
I don't think so.
Hmm.
It's like and we haven't heard about who's in charge of Home One, so I find it hard. Unless we're trying to say that Hera's in charge of Home One, at which point, I don't know about that.
I thought it did show who was in charge, and it was like some other person.
It's possible.
I could be wrong.
Maybe I missed that part, but yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. A small part of me wants to see Akbar.
Yeah. Well, of
Yeah,
course.
when
yeah.
they said Home One, that's what I thought of. I was
Well,
like,
yeah, the first time you're like, Home One, we're gonna see Akbar.
No.
Yes,
Is it
and
a
then he
trap?
doesn't. Is it a trap? Like it was because we didn't see him.
Right. It was
But,
a trap.
They reeled us in. Those jokers.
But it was nice to see the conference room, again.
Right.
Where,
Yep.
Where they showed Death Star plans and everything.
And like there was a picture. Actually, they put the two together from Return of the Jedi and that one. It was like pretty close to what it was.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So I feel like they're trying really hard to link the props that were kind of in that era to try to fit, with the stuff now, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, and they should be doing stuff. So, but I mean, again, it's Filoni. We know Filoni's not going to mess up that either.
Right. Yep.
But I've got to say, I've also liked. I like the scene with Hera and Mon Mothma. When Hera was sitting there and making her push for.
When she was
Getting-
like standing
getting
up
the-
for herself against that senator or whatever.
Right. Which surprisingly was also the scene where this new actress kind of clicked as Hera for. Because I was having. I think we were talking about that, having trouble with like getting the voice to click because you get so used to hearing a different person as her for so long, and then it just takes a second before you're finally like, okay, yeah, this is the character now.
Yeah.
That's kind of where it clicked for me. But her going up against that one senator, and I'm trying to remember where I've read about this character before. And yeah, whoever played him, he's doing a great job with that character. He's supposed to be this. He played that character perfect.
Well, I feel with him, he feels like one of those Galactic Empire remnants as a senator now. You know what I mean? Like he has that sort of. Oh, there's Galactic Empire scattered all over. Like, yeah, I'm one of them. Yeah.
Yes.
Kind of like the banking clan back in the Clone Wars and stuff. How they were with the Separatists, but they were just like, oh no, yeah, like hiding it, right?
Right. Yeah.
Contingent just hit it. Giono, that was his name.
Oh,
The senator. He's actually the father of the main character in Resistance.
Oh, is he?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, dang. Okay.
Or no, because he's saying leader of the ship, which is the father of the girl that flies the pink ship. You know what? Have you guys seen it?
I have. It's been a bit though.
I've watched.
Okay, so
Resistance.
so they have the whatever the ace pilot things that watch over the ship and they do the races and all that.
Yeah.
And the guy who's in charge of the ship, his daughter flies a pink one and she's like the best. And Kaz is her best friend.
No, that's not the same one we're talking about. Kaz's last name is Yono. The senator is Senator Siono. he's actually Kaz's father.
Yeah, well,
The
that
one
would
was
mean that
fighting
he's
with
not
Hera.
in the show, though, right? Because his dad is not in the show. His dad dies in like the first season.
Right.
And
At the moment in The Force Awakens, when they destroy the New Republic capital, Was it Housing and Prime?
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
so.
all that stuff. Yeah, with
Yeah.
Star Killer Base.
Hmm.
Yes.
Hmm.
I like how they're starting to slowly connect some of the the stuff from the First Order stuff and the New Republic stuff going into these movies. Like, I like how they're starting to
Yeah.
slowly put things together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can start to see the things weave together, especially like we were saying in Mando season 3, how the they called the Mando troopers, whatever you want to call them, they had the like the First Order style helmets, so kind of the moving towards that style.
The
So
early stages of that. Yeah.
yeah,
Well, you gotta keep in mind it's between that. I mean, all the little things that you're looking at, even in the last season of Mandalorian, when we're looking at the Shadow Council finally,
Yeah, the Hux. Hux is dead.
Hux's dad is there.
Yep.
And then leading into this show, Captain Paleon, who is,
Yep.
if you go into the legends stories of Thrawn,
His right-hand man.
was his first officer, was his
Yep.
most
Yeah.
important guy.
hmm
So, and even after Thrawn died, Paleon was the one that actually was pretty much holding what was left of the Empire together at the end. So,
yeah, yeah. When we were doing Mando season 3, I was reading about like Hux and his dad and stuff. It's a pretty interesting story too. So be cool to see some of that on screen
yeah,
Mm.
eventually.
it's going to be interesting to see where all of this starts to go. But without, I don't want to go. I feel like we're starting to go too far off.
Yeah. Let's
Yeah.
deviate back to
Let's
this.
get back in.
Um,
So you remember how we were all predicting about like the Inquisitors? Do we want to talk about that a little bit, or
yeah, we
like
could definitely.
essentially like at the beginning, I was spending a lot of time like examining this Inquisitor every time it was on screen, like body shape, like okay, so one of the theories was Barris, right? So I
Mhm.
was watching if she was like head over shoulders taller than Ahsoka because Barris was in the Clone Wars. So I was watching for that. And not so much. So I'm like, okay, it's not Barris. And then like eventually when the Inquisitor kind of like spoke in the ship there, I was like, I think it's just a original character. I don't know.
Well, it could have been a lot of people were speculating the voice. It was a voice mod, like because in helmets
Yeah.
you have those voice mods, so it could have been anybody really. But yeah, there was so many. There was like 4 or 5 theories on who it could have been.
Hmm.
But in the end, it turned out to be a Night Brother. It seemed because when he was slashed down, he had that sort of scream and that mist that came out of him. Like it seemed to be it could have been just, or it's been a dead body that there was a night spell, a spell from
Hmm.
Morgan Elsbeth. I don't know, like
That's true. That's
I
true.
mean, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I was slightly disappointed.
definitely, definitely,
It could have.
especially with the camera time that they had on him,
Yeah.
Hmm.
the way that, like, if he was just a
It seemed
character
like
from
they were going to develop
behind,
her.
it seemed like they were going to develop a little bit, right?
Mhm.
And then yeah, that happens, and you're like, oh, Filoni, hello, like, what's going on here?
I mean, don't get me wrong. End of the day, I can deal with it. It's not a big deal. Um, I'm okay with it. Um, rather than if you had made it some grandiose thing that would have been ridiculous, like this is the real Star Killer,
Yeah, no.
and suddenly here he is pulling down starships again, and it's the super OP Star Killer that we don't want to see in our Star Wars. I mean, we want to see Star Killer, but not like that. Um, but at the same time, yeah. I mean, I'm just sitting there. And it's like Yeah, a little disappointing. I kind of wanted to
Yeah.
see something happen.
Well, but it's the fact that everybody, and I mean, like everybody talked about it and played it up like it was going to be this huge reveal, and I think that's why everybody's disappointed. But I mean, you look at it, you're like, okay, it doesn't make sense to keep them around in the long run because eventually they're adding two more characters with Ezra and Thrawn, right? And then you're just gonna have all these other characters like Balin and Shin and Morgan, and you know, and then you have all the Rebels crew, like whoever's there. Like, there's a lot of characters already, right? Somebody's got to go eventually,
Yeah.
and it does make sense that he goes. It just is. In the beginning, it seemed weird because they were just, to me, anyways, there was a little bit more camera time on him than I thought.
Yeah, there was some
You
degree
know,
of like emphasis when he came on screen too. It'd be like, "Dun, dun," like zooming in on
yeah,
him, putting the lightsaber up. It's like,
right.
oh,
I don't know.
he means business.
But it is
And
what it
then,
is. Like, yeah, I
yeah,
mean, I was disappointed at first, and you're like, okay, whatever. And then you keep going with the story, and you're like, kind of forgot about him, to be honest.
yeah,
And,
So
and the other thing that kind of really threw it off for me too was, I don't know if you guys have ever watched him, but Sam Witwer spends a lot of time on Twitch. He plays games and he talks to people. He's actually
Sam, yeah,
a
yeah,
really cool guy.
yep.
But he kind
who's
of
sorry?
Sam Witwer.
Oh, okay.
and he had somebody had asked him a question about if he's the one that's under that mask, and in his deflecting, he kind of let out that, well, I kind of did do some work on Ahsoka. And I really shouldn't have told you guys that. um, but it's like I don't even remember what I did, but I did do something on there, and thanks, Dave, and that's it. And it's like that definitely pushed the envelope a little bit too,
Oh, of course.
as far as if it's really him or not. Um, so it just kind of continuing that along. It's like, oh, why did you have to say it? You should have just kept your mouth shut, man.
Yeah, yeah. You guys know, like that was my prediction. Is that was going to be who it was? Is Star Killer, and yeah, the biggest reason I thought that is because I read a thing where he was saying that they invited him to join them for Rebels back when they were doing Rebels, and then like last second they said, "Oh, never mind, we're canceling the idea or whatever." So it's like, okay, they already kind of had plans to put him into that story,
Yeah,
so it would make sense if
And he
they
ended up in the
wanted to.
story anyway as Maul.
as Maul. Yeah, yeah.
Sure.
And
Yeah,
he was Palpatine in the beginning.
yeah,
So somebody brought up the fact that the screams that you hear, and there are sometimes when Morgan is talking or whatever it is, somebody brought up that you can like faintly hear like the Night Sister stuff, like Night Sister echoes and whatever it is. And then when Maroc died, the big scream, it sounded like it was like a, well, like Night
Night
Sister
Sister. Yeah,
zombie screaming or
yeah,
whatever it is. And somebody had brought up, along with like Sam Witwer's name being there was like 5 or 6 other names as additional voices, but there was nothing cast next to him. So somebody had thought that they're doing the voices of
dreams.
the Night Sisters and Night Brothers, just molding them all together.
That
And
could
that was
be.
what he
That could
did,
be.
right?
Mm, yeah, that definitely could be right.
Yep. Or Sam Witwer just did a random alien voice. You know what I mean? Like, it could have just
Yeah,
been anything, really. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. Or there
he's
could be some kind of flashback with Maul. You never know. Something like that.
yeah, 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 maybe Morgan talking to Maul. Hello, just
Or
Hey, you remember your mother's house? You remember your mama's house?
you remember your mama towel?
but like Sabine had like a, you know, somewhat of interaction with Maul on Dathomir, right? When she obtained the dark saber, I think they fought each other, and then the zombies were there and all that stuff. So you never know. There could be something.
Well, I think Sabine was possessed. No, Sabine wasn't possessed at that point.
Yeah, I think that was a different time after when they went back to.
That was when
Oh
she.
yeah,
That
yeah,
was that was around the time she found the dark saber.
yeah. I know that there's two times that Ezra and Sabine go to Dathomir, but now I'm like feel like I'm mixing them together, so I can't remember. But like, what? Because one time it's zombies and the other time it's not, right? The one time they go there and they're alive. I think that's before Maul, though. Okay, so yeah. Anyways,
So okay, so the one weird thing for me with them saying that he's a former Inquisitor, because that's what it described him as in here. So a former Inquisitor. So
Mhm.
most Inquisitors, or all Inquisitors, I thought were former Jedi that were kind of
well, some of them were like because he acquired Inquisitors during the Empire, right? So I don't think all of them were Jedi per se.
okay.
I'm not 100% sure on that, but I think they do allude to like him like whatever drafting new Inquisitors at some point.
Okay. And I think
Like
well,
the original ones obviously were like Jedi, Jedi masters and all that.
maybe this is why they were going around looking for force sensitive babies too, to try to add to
Mhm.
their Inquisitor ranks, I guess, maybe. I don't know.
I
But it
think
just seemed
that's
kind
Yeah,
of
that's
weird.
what I
Like
picture. Yeah.
I
Like
don't
when they had all the yeah, those episodes where that's what they're doing, getting all those force sensitive babies. That's kind of what the link that I made is like, those are probably little baby inquisitors right there.
little baby Inquisitors, yeah.
Yeah.
uh yeah, it was just weird because you're like, okay, so this is the Knight brother, I guess. The not an Inquisitor, not a Jedi. But
Yeah.
it could have been.
Well, it could have been an inquisitor that was reanimated too. Like I'm sure the same magic they could potentially use to do something like that. Maybe
Yeah.
zombie him up.
Well, that's what I figured. It seemed like,
Hmm.
right,
Yeah, I
but
didn't even think about that till you guys said it here. But yeah, I agree. That does seem kind of how it was like when he died there.
it's like they didn't care. They don't care that he's gone. To be honest, like when
Yeah.
they came on the ship, Morgan was not like, "Where's Maroc,
Yeah.
guys? Where's Maroc, guys?" Like, you know what I mean? It was just like, whatever. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
traded Sabine for Maroc. But yeah. But everything about him was pretty. Like everything was cool. Every scene that he was in, and the fight. The fights between. It was. He only
I
fought.
I like the fight on Corellia.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, they fought on Corellia and they also
Yeah.
fought at the Night Sister Temple, I'm pretty sure. Or no, that was just the droids,
That
right?
was
The
the
HK
droids. Yeah.
droids.
The
Yeah, yeah. So,
HK units.
hmm
Yeah.
yeah,
Which make it,
I honestly thought that scene was really awesome. Like the first scene with Balin, or is that his name? Balin? Yeah.
Balin. Yeah. Balin and
And
Shin.
Finn, like doing the hallway massacre in the prison there. That was pretty great.
I like the captain though. The captain was like, "No, you guys, no, this is not right.
You're not Jedi. He's like,
You're not a Jedi." Yeah,
yeah.
like he's so sure of himself.
it's
Yeah.
like, yep, you're right. I'm
No,
not a
listen.
Jedi.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Right.
that scene I thought was really awesome because
Yeah.
like who doesn't love a good hallway massacre? That's kind of,
But
becomes
it was just
thematic.
like it was reminiscent of episode 1, right? Where
Hmm.
Qui-Gon going on the ship and blah blah blah, but it was the other way around, right?
Yeah.
They're not Jedi.
But then also followed by that, like I thought the Night Sister Temple thing looked really cool. Like as far as like visual effects, it looked really like awesome. And she's like navigating that. She solved the puzzle pretty easy, but I thought it all looked very good. And then they had the fight scene with the droids, which I thought looked awesome.
Mm.
So that was a like the opening scenes got me really pumped.
Like the way she opened,
Yeah.
like the way she opened the ground with the
Mm,
lightsabers.
yeah.
And like you're like, that's
Yeah.
sick. Like
Yeah. Yeah, that was very cool. I like
And then the sort of she's down there and she's like doing the whole Indiana Jones thing, like the visual camera like on her eye when she's along the line, and like it was definitely Indiana Jones-ish feel for sure. And some people were like, that scene went a little long because like she was like it was following her doing everything, right?
Yeah.
I thought that was the fun of the scene.
Yeah, I loved
Yeah.
it. It was great. Like,
Yeah. I honestly thought it was a little short. Like usually those temples take a little minute to get through it, you know?
where's the rolling ball behind her?
Yeah. Yeah, it seemed almost too easy. Oh, and let's not forget that massive explosion. That was pretty dope.
Right? A nuclear explosion type esque thing from a little droid. Like, oh no, I think
Yeah,
2 droids did it.
3 of them.
Was it 3 of them? But anyways,
Yeah.
you're like, why is she running? It's just like,
Yeah. Like pretty much destroyed the planet. Game over.
like what?
Yeah, it was pretty nuts.
Yeah.
And I think Hu Yang has been a pretty awesome
Oh my gosh, man.
comedy piece, you
Oh.
know.
Well,
Like,
between him and Chopper, man, it's just been
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh, it's so much fun.
I mean, Steven.
But
and
Hugh
him,
Yang,
like,
yeah.
tearing down. Yeah. Yeah,
Just
when
the
he
way-
like tells Sabine that she's like the worst ever.
Just,
I
but
thought
it's
that
just
was so
it's just
funny.
the way, yeah, just the way how like how truthful he is. It's just there's
Yeah.
no filter. Just he just tells you how it is. It's just so
Yeah.
funny. Yeah, you're the worst Padawan out of all of them. Like, thanks, Yu Yang. Nice to see you too. Yeah. No. David Tennant's doing a great job.
It's funny because we mentioned Corellia, and I thought that was a nice thing that they showed too.
Yeah.
Where we got there, and suddenly people are starting to realize, maybe this new republic that we've instituted, maybe it's not working as well as we think. Maybe there are people that are still followers of the Empire that are still moving in the shadows. Maybe we need to pay a little more attention for what's going on in our galaxy. Whereas when Mon Mothma took over and she wanted to be very hands off, it's very much showing that maybe this hands off approach isn't really the best idea in the world. So it was one of those things I really enjoyed, was watching them go through, and even though you could kind of tell it was coming, that somewhere they were gonna all turn and fight them.
Yeah. It was weird seeing the guy from House, the doctor from House.
Oh yeah, I was
"Oh,
I know
hey."
this guy. Oh yeah, House. Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, he's kind of playing the same character. He,
Yeah,
all
he
right, let's
sounds-
go then, I guess. Like,
Yeah.
but yeah, it was weird when they were going through. You can kind of tell as he's like talking. He's like, no, there's Empire scattered throughout the whole shipyard, but we're just here to make money. They're just there to make money, and all this stuff. And but the ship's going by everybody, and they're all just like giving them the stare down. Like, what are they doing here? Like,
Yeah. But I mean, it kind of keeps pushing the idea that the New Republic is a little incompetent in what they're doing. And,
oh yeah,
and even when you push back to Mandalorian, when Carson TV was there and he's trying to get people to go after, trying to figure out what's going to happen with all of a sudden Gideon, when he escaped it, and they didn't want to do anything about that. And it's like, well, I mean, we got to figure out what's going on here. I mean, you have, when you look and you have the one girl who's on Coruscant, she's playing she's pretty much a double agent. I mean, it just kind of, you kind of need to keep bringing those elements in to keep saying, yeah, we're this new republic isn't going to last very long if they keep this up.
And you eventually see that with the First Order forming, able to form eventually, right? Under their nose or whatever. Like,
yeah, and they never even saw it coming.
they never saw it coming, right? So
until all of a sudden Starkiller Base, they seen it
blows
for
up
one
some
little
planets.
second and boom,
Yeah.
gone. Because that was their target, right? Is all the like key High Republic planets, right? So boom, get all the leaders out, done.
Yeah, and they did it with one quick swoop.
Yeah.
Trying to think of other little things that I saw in this show that I really loved. I did love the hint that the name of the ship was the Eye of Sion.
Yeah.
I mean,
Shout out to Darth Sion.
Yeah, because I mean, if that in any way brings him to the canon, because as far as I knew, he wasn't canon at this point.
Well, they name dropped it, right? So now he's probably part of it. You know, we'll probably see like a couple weeks down the road. Oh, Darth Sion is now part of canon.
Yeah,
yeah, that'd be kind of cool if they gave a nod to the whole triumvirate, like just like some kind of image or statue or something cool like that.
Yeah, and I think that I'm gonna answer your question. It is Sion.
Sion. S-I-O-N. Yep.
But
Sion.
let's see, that was one of the things that really hit me. That I was really happy when I saw it.
So I saw Contingent, and he posted a question earlier, and said that was wondering if that hyperdrive thing was going to bring back the Chimera ship. Like, is it big enough to bring back Chimera? Is it going to be used for that?
It seemed massive.
Well be.
Yeah.
Like in the Clone Wars, we've seen the Jedi starfighters pull up to like a mini version of that, and then they would lock in, and they had the hyperspace. But yeah, that's obviously like a massive version of the same. So I think it could be for something like that.
Possible,
and I have a feeling at the end of the day, it might be for even more than that. It might take a few trips, but I could see Ron bringing his entire fleet here and wreaking havoc.
Yeah.
Please come on over and wreak havoc.
Yeah, I mean,
or I could see them like bringing a whole bunch of like capital ships and parking them on this planet called Exegol, and then like forming a society there.
Wow, is that a new planet? Exegol?
Because yeah, in that movie, like that was so shocking. Like out of nowhere, it's just like insane amount of
so many capital ships. Yeah. Or Star Destroyers.
Yeah,
what?
And they all have the Death Star ray on them. It's like, whoa.
Like, is this
how much
is this Thrawn's fleet?
Have? This is crazy.
Well, you've been building this shit?
Yeah, like huge, right?
But yeah, it's possible if it's that big. Yeah.
Another thing that was big with me was see the. I mean, I know we've had opportunities to see the Purgle in a couple different shows, a couple different episodes, different things, but the way they showed the Purgle in this show so far, I thought it was amazing.
Bang up job with it, yeah I agree.
I thought you were saying the opposite. I thought you said they did a bad job. I'm like, really? I thought
no,
bang up job. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
You got me. Okay. Sorry, I liked it. Yeah. So what I was wondering is, how do you guys think they're gonna? Do you think some of our heroes are gonna travel to where they are, or are they going to stick around and wait for Thrawn to come back? What do you guys think? Or and how do you think they're gonna get there? Are they gonna fly on the Purgle like Ezra did, or are they gonna find another way, possibly through the world between worlds? Like,
That was something I was hoping they would kind of spell out for us at the end of it. Like when Ahsoka talks to her, I'm like, okay, what's gonna happen
yeah,
now? And then they didn't say anything, and I was like,
I'm
another week, another week. We'll find out.
I know, right?
well. The beauty of it is, what next week is supposed to be the longest episode.
It's confirmed that Anakin Skywalker is actually going to be in this episode.
It's
Really?
Yeah, it's the longest episode. It's Filoni's episode. I don't know if you guys heard. They're actually even releasing this in some theaters. This episode.
Oh, really?
So
Neat.
The thing that tells me is we are going to see a lot of good shit in this episode.
I hope so, man.
If they're so confident in this one episode that they're willing to release it in theaters for people to go and watch, there's got to be something good.
Right.
Or there better be something good. That being said, I'm sitting here and I'm looking at. It's like I've been kind of holding back on that on that part of the show. At least figured we wait until the end.
The Anakin part, yeah.
About it.
Oh, that's all right. That's all right.
But I think it's almost time to go there, and it starts me off with the one thing that I'm surprised we haven't seen in this show at all so far, and that's Meryl, the little owl that follows Ahsoka around.
Yep.
We have not seen her. We've not seen the owl at all.
Right.
And that's one of those things that everywhere. Morai, that's what it is. I'm sorry.
Morai, yep.
That's my fault. There, it's like even once she woke up in the world between worlds, I was hoping to see the owl.
Right.
It kind of makes me wonder on a couple of fronts, because it's like on one side, the way everything just happened in that episode at the end, my first impression is Anakin pulled her out before it was too late, before she could die.
Yep.
The other side of it is she's dead.
She dead? Yeah. That was kind of what I thought at first, but I'm definitely.
I don't think she's dead.
Other interpretations, that's for sure. But yeah, I mean, in that place, you can manipulate time and space. So whether or not she's dead is almost irrelevant, because you can come back from death potentially if you know how to.
At the same time, I don't think it's Filoni's intention to manipulate time and space with it. I mean, obviously, you can manipulate moments, but he's almost given the impression that as far as manipulating moments, he doesn't want to stray. Like the one moment where Ezra pulled.
They
Ahsoka
talk about
out.
there being a big consequence, right?
Right, and there was already a consequence to that. But at the end of the day, she went right back into the same portal that she had been pulled out of. Whereas Ezra also went back through the same portal that he came in. So I'm kind of wondering if that's where they're gonna stay. I don't see any like major. I don't see any kind of major like retcons or anything happening here. Anything silly happening. Filoni's too smart for that. But it does lead, but like I said, it does lead me to the question: is Ahsoka really dead? Because I almost feel like Mariah should have been around. Because Mariah watches over her. Mariah's not watching over anymore. Maybe she's gone. At the same time, I'm looking at Anakin, and there's been a lot of things pointed out about Anakin
Yep.
in this episode. Yeah, obviously, once she sees him, Vader's theme starts to play.
Mhm.
If you look at if you look at um you look at him, even though he's dressed as Anakin Skywalker, people have said the lightsaber looks like it's Vader's lightsaber,
Yeah, it's dark.
not his. But they also
Yep.
said that could just be the lighting.
Well, also Luke
Mm-mm.
or old Ben there, Ben Kenobi has his lightsaber, right? Like alive in the real world at that time, doesn't he?
Well, that's the other thing. We also see Anakin doesn't have his scar.
Yes, it's there.
Is it?
Was
Yeah,
the
you
scar
can
there?
you can faintly see it. Yeah, it's
Okay,
there.
maybe I missed that part.
Yeah.
We do notice he's wearing Clone Wars armor. Pretty sure,
I
isn't
think
he?
he's wearing the stuff that he wore in Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
Or Return of the
Oh, is he?
Jedi.
That's what I think it is.
Revenge
I
of the
thought he
Sith.
was wearing the. I thought he was wearing the armor, but
But it starts to me back to the idea also of, is this really Anakin? I mean,
Yeah.
we're all excited that it's Anakin. Is it really Anakin? Or,
People were toying with the fact that it might be the brother from the Mortis
which
arc.
yeah.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I mean, the other idea that I have is, could it potentially also be Palpatine? Because Palpatine has shown that he has the ability to change what he looks like to other people as well. And obviously from Rebels, he's trying to find a way into the world between worlds. Did he actually find one? And is his manipulation within the world between worlds what causes everything to happen, as far as the First Order or whatever, leading into Episode 9, Exegol, him amassing a fleet, him getting himself prepared for everything that's going to happen there, except he was defeated, of course. But I mean, maybe there's something in play there. Just something I was thinking about as I was going through.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a really good point because that was like a huge goal for him in Rebels there. So yeah,
It's like,
I could see that.
yeah. So, and if it is Anakin, I am really curious as to where we're going with it. Because as much as I loved what I saw at the end of that episode, this could go really wrong really fast. I mean, again, I have faith in Filoni. I don't see it going that way, but we gotta be mindful of it. This could go really wrong really fast.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I've already expressed to you guys in the past my discontent of them making him a Force ghost at all, like how they went back and remastered those films. Because, like, as we see it in the Clone Wars, Yoda had to go through like a special trial to like learn how to become a Force ghost, and like Qui-Gon mentored him through it and all this stuff. As far I didn't see that happen with Darth Vader, or Anakin,
Yeah, you did.
I don't know. No,
Yeah,
no, he didn't go to that planet and do the trial where you fight all the Sith,
but he was
like
he was
Yoda
a
had.
Force ghost. Just because it
Hmm?
wasn't Hayden Christensen. Because who do you think that other old guy was?
Which old guy? Sorry.
If you go back to a non-special edition version of Star Wars, at the end, when Luke's standing there and he's looking on, he's looking at Yoda, Obi-Wan, and then there's another old man, and that's just basically the older version of Anakin. It's
Oh,
basically
well,
it's the
that's
guy. It was the guy under the mask.
yeah, but that's what I'm referring to is like okay, so if you look at it now, that is Hayden Christensen standing there as Anakin,
Yes.
like instead of an old man or whatever. But that's what I'm saying. It's like he didn't have training to become a Force ghost. They just threw it in that, hey, he is a Force ghost now.
but he was a Force ghost before that. You still had Anakin
Well, without
Skywalker.
explanation is what I'm saying. Like they didn't have him learn
I,
how to become a Force ghost.
I guess that maybe the reason I never had a problem with the idea was because when I saw it, it was always the same. At the end of the day, it was always the same character, same person. Uh, I don't know how to. Yeah, I don't know how to play around that. But
I think there's been so much more like added to it though, all this Force Ghost stuff, because in the beginning with Return of the Jedi, they're just doing it. There was no story behind it. They're just like throwing it in there, I think. But I think now they've added all this story to sort of maybe retcon it a little bit. But
I
I
kind
don't
of
know.
I kind of like what Contingent is saying right there. Saying I think the world between worlds is where they learn it, besides learning it from the Wills. Whereas Yoda learned it from the Wills and from Qui Gon. Um, and Qui Gon obviously taught Obi-Wan. Maybe that's why part of why we're seeing Anakin here in this spot. Maybe he did learn it and we didn't realize.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there was the one thing that kind of threw me off was the line that he's like, I didn't expect to see you here
So soon.
so
Or whatever.
soon. You're like, what? Like, what does that mean? Like, doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Like I guess he thought she would yeah, but that's the part that made me think she's dead, right? Like
Right.
because he's saying like, "Oh, you're not supposed to be dead yet," or that's how I took it, anyways.
Well, that would make sense in that sense, yeah.
Yeah,
But
Maybe
anything else?
we're realizing it's not her time to go yet. I don't know.
yeah, it's kind of hard to have a show named after a character if they're dead. like, not impossible, not impossible, but
But
definitely
at the same
brings
time, I mean,
difficulties.
but if you think about it, I mean, she was killed in Clone Wars as well
Hmm.
during the Mortis angle, and it took what the sacrifice of the daughter to bring her back. So I tend to wonder. It could also lead to your idea of him being the brother, or maybe he's come to the point where he's actually reached his full potential at the point where he is in the world between worlds now, and maybe he's actually assumed the role of the father.
Yeah, that's what Contingent was saying. Could be a mix of both light and dark side. Now the role of the father.
Yeah, because I mean,
Yeah.
remember the father offered him the ability to take his spot.
Mm.
Hmm. Yeah, because he's the chosen one.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
Man,
That is
There's
that
a
is
lot of deep
another
stuff
point that
here.
I that is a point that I didn't really think about with my logic of like learning to do the Force Ghost thing is that Anakin is superior in his connection to the Force, so maybe he just like is that good. He's like Neo, he doesn't have to learn, he just can go
can
right
do
in
it.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's possibility, right?
Yeah.
But man, yeah. Can we bring on this next episode, please? Now? So I
Yeah,
want to see
no
this.
doubt, no doubt. Oh yeah, another thing I was thinking about, guys, because I was telling you I rewatched Rebels and Clone Wars and stuff. So when the when the Purgal hyperspace chimera away from the battle, all the windows are like smashed in by tentacles and stuff. They're standing on the bridge, fully exposed to the outdoors,
Yeah.
and then they go hyperspace into space. So like for them to be alive, yeah, I don't know. Something weird must have happened there, right? Something mystical, maybe.
Well, maybe they got a hyper jump to another planet. They could be on another planet right now. I guess being
Right,
in
but like,
hyperspace, I know being in space, you're in space, but
yeah.
maybe hyperspace is a different, I don't know.
Well, in hyperspace, it should be more intense, you would imagine. Like if
Right.
you're exposed to the
Yeah.
But maybe in
yeah,
the sense of
whatever.
the hyper jump, considering its intensity and
And also they say
scale.
the Purgil do go faster than ships at light speed. So maybe it is some kind of mystical thing where they create some kind of shield to, protect them from that speed
Protect
and all that.
themselves. Yeah.
Yeah, could be.
That's definitely
Man,
an
who
idea.
knows? Who knows? But they look cool, man, in the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, on top of that, I mean, yeah, it could have ended up in the atmosphere of another planet where they would be alive. So,
Mm.
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah, if
there's
the
definite ideas there. Um, Again, like I said, just excited to see where they go. I just want to see what they do now.
Oh yeah, I had like a glimpse of thought when Balin's like, I can't remember if it's Balin that says it, but somebody says like, if we're off even by the, you know,
It was
small
Balin.
percent of a degree,
We
we're
could be
sending
lost in the
ourselves
void.
into the middle of nowhere. Yeah,
Yeah. And
I was like, wouldn't that be funny?
Where are we?
Game over. You're in the void. Uh,
you must have faith. I lost that years
oh yeah,
ago.
that's when he drops
Yeah.
that line. But
Yeah.
yeah, that would be funny. The antagonists just like are gone. Yeah, on to the next story.
Yeah.
Credits
Yeah.
pop up.
In the void. And then Ahsoka's like, okay, what
Yeah,
do we
no
do
Thrawn,
now?
man. Whatever.
They just see Balin on door. Damn it, we're in the void. Credits pop up.
Yeah, yeah. I told you so.
uh, the
Oh,
thoughts of swamp
it,
grass sometimes.
I thought it was pretty cool though when Ahsoka showed up to fight Balin or to whatever it was that he brought up the whole Anakin thing, and Anakin talked highly of you, and then she's like, "That's funny. I've never heard of you at all.
Yeah, he never mentioned you
I've
once.
never
Yeah.
mentioned you once."
And it's funny too, because
It's a
like
burn.
he's trying to act like he knows Anakin better than her, and she's
Right.
like
Yeah.
saying, "No, you don't."
Yeah. Exactly. Right.
Well,
No, you don't.
I think that plays well into even if you look at the last season of Clone Wars when she was fighting Maul, and that point where she sits there and she's like wow, you should really be happy Anakin didn't show up because because
Yeah.
you really would be getting your ass kicked now. And he's like,
Yeah,
he's
I
like,
think he says something cocky like, "Ah, shame your master isn't here," or something. She's like,
well, no,
Yeah.
she's the one that says it, and then he's
He
like,
would
"Oh,
whoop you.
he comes out and he's like something like that's Kenobi's arrogance I sense. And she comes out and she's
yeah,
like, there's a lot about me that you'll learn that you won't like." Or something. It's
Yeah.
like
yeah,
it's like she has the ability to go at people. I mean, I think her and Anakin together really pulled that out of her. And it's a shame we don't see more of that.
oh, that is something that I'm kind of noticing is like, okay, so early on in the Clone Wars, like Ahsoka's very like rebellious, and so is Anakin, right, with the Jedi Temple and his orders and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like they are kind of playing on that a little bit with Sabine and her. Like
Right.
it's kind of a similar kind of vibe of like, I don't want to learn this or whatever, same kind of attitude.
Well, especially from the get go, the first episode where she's racing down the thing there.
Yeah.
Where's Sabine at? Have you seen Sabine? Go get Sabine. Like, you know what I mean? She's like
Yeah.
rebellious right off the get go, right? Like,
I
so
thought
yeah, for
that
sure.
scene looked really cool too when her hair's like whipping in the wind and yeah, it was another one of those really visually well done scenes. I liked it.
Well, I liked how they brought in Clancy Brown to play what's his face, the senator there.
Oh
Like
yeah,
because he voiced him, right?
yeah.
So it
He
was pretty
voiced
cool to
Ryder.
actually make him look
I was
like
like,
him. And
I don't know if this is the guy, but that voice is bang
yeah,
on. And
yeah,
then yeah, it is him.
yeah, it was him. Yeah,
And he kind of looks like the drawing too. Like they
yeah,
must have drawn it based on his likeness or whatever.
yeah. No, it was a really cool, like, just seeing Clancy Brown. You're like, oh, Clancy Brown, yeah. But
Yeah, that was really
but yeah, and they had said something. Somebody had said the other senator, the younger senator, was also a previous character from one of the episodes back in the Clone Wars or Rebels. I think it was Rebels.
oh the guy who like he's like, yeah, you entertain the audience
Yeah,
or
yeah.
whatever.
You talk to them. Yeah, yeah. So that senator there, I don't remember, but they had said that he was he was a
He
kid.
was in something.
What was I can't remember what episode it was,
Hmm.
but yeah, it's neat how they bring the characters in from the animated thing, and it's
Easter
even
eggs kind of.
well, and it's also cool when they bring in the actual, like, again, like bringing in the actual voice actor to do, play the role, right? It's really cool because any one of them that does the voices for these characters would hands down 100% play the live action role, like if they could.
Well, I think it's also great that they think of that and they tailor the animated character to what they would look like, so that you get to be that first choice.
Just in case down the road, right? And I think they're doing that now more so than before, right? But now they're probably like building characters. Oh, this person looks like so and so. Let's just tweak this and tweak that. But yeah, I think that's cool. What else, guys?
There's just so much.
What else? What other character did we not to mention? We mentioned Chopper quickly. His antics.
Chopper,
His antics are the same, man.
Awesome.
It's so cool. Like the whole scene where he's like digging through his little junk drawer there on the ship, and he's like, "Did you go through my junk or whatever it is?" No, I didn't go through your stuff.
the Lothcat, we got to see the
the animatronic Lothcat. Yes, he did a good job with that. Like,
I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah,
especially because like the animated thing, like the face doesn't look like anything that we have in real life. So to like transform that into this thing, it's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I think.
well, they're so advanced with that stuff now, man.
Oh yeah,
it's crazy. Every movement just goes.
I'm not. I feel like I've covered almost everything I've wanted to cover here. I'm not sure about you guys.
Yeah,
well, I think
I gotta hit the road soon. So yeah, I think we talked about a lot of stuff. I'm sure next episode there'll be even more to talk
honestly,
about.
I think the next episode, I think we should just talk, probably if it's going to be this long one, I probably could talk about that probably for a full hour.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I would love to see them bring Loth wolves. I was gonna say that, like, that would be a good way to like give a tribute to Kanan or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of cool, actually. I don't know. The other thing that they mentioned was in this episode when Ghost had arrived to Cedos, and obviously Hera's sitting there with little Jason.
Oh yeah.
There was supposed to be a picture of Kanan right there.
Uh-oh.
Can you guys still hear me?
More thunder.
Yeah, I can still hear you.
Is everything just kicked out and kicked back on?
Oh wow.
Well, I'm still running, so.
Yeah, it says you're live. It says
we're gonna take that as a note, as a sign.
Yeah.
I will just say really quick.
Don't want to tempt the gods here.
Yeah. There was a picture of Kanan, and I guess it was actually a picture of Freddie Prinze as
really?
Kanan.
Interesting.
So hopefully.
I thought he said he's not doing it, and that stuff's for kids or
I'm
whatever.
thinking it possibly was something that they had from. My guess would be something from when they did the TV show, when they did Rebels,
Yeah.
and he was still around, and something that Filoni kind of kept kicking around just.
Or
I
that
know.
could have been him just saying that
I
to, throw us off his scent.
I would never trust any Star Wars actor as far as I can throw them with,
Sure.
with what they say
Yeah,
ever.
that's true.
You know what I
That's
mean?
true.
So
Yeah.
so anyways,
Yeah. On that note, I mean, we're gonna kind of call this an episode,
yeah.
because well, we may not last much longer here.
Yeah.
Just want to
Yeah,
thank
be safe out there.
everybody for coming out. Uh, Swampgrass, where can we find you, man?
Usually I'm on Twitch Monday to Friday, playing Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. This week I've kind of taken a hiatus, but I should be back at it next week, 6 p.m. Oh, I already said that, 6 to 9 Eastern. Yeah, that's me. That's me. Yeah.
Andy Beats, how about you?
Most of the time you can find me on Twitch at Andy_beads. I do play Marvel Snap. So you guys like card games? That's what I play over there. Other than that, yeah, I don't really do anything else. So Twitch.
All right, and
Oh yeah, I just realized our bot didn't really give any thing.
Our
info.
bot crapped out. Man,
we'll
can't
figure
trust
it out.
robots.
There we go. Now we're good.
All right, and I am Darth Eldor. You can usually find me on Twitch playing either Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes or my new favorite obsession, which is Baldur's Gate 3, which I tend to love to play right now as well. I'm also been on YouTube trying to release a couple videos here and there. So been trying that out. Definitely give me a look on YouTube, see how that goes. And other than that, hey, be around. I'll either be doing that or this. So
Yeah.
Make sure to check out our socials as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I put the links there in the chat, but yeah, for anybody that's listening and can't see that, twitch.tv/TSC podcast for this channel that we're on right now. YouTube, usually after the show, we end up putting it on there, youtube.com @the Shadow Collective podcast. And then for Twitter, we're at twitter.com/Shadow Call Pod. COLLPOD.
Which we could probably fix at some point to make it work.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, make it a little bit more easier.
Easier to say out loud, but yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
But yeah, like, follow, subscribe, all that good stuff, guys. You know what to do.
And on that note, gotta say goodnight. Thank you for being here for episode 13 of the Shadow Collective, a Star Wars podcast. Still weird to say.
The Shadow Collective, yeah.
And we'll be looking forward to episode 14, where we'll be covering more of the Ahsoka show and be ready to do some more. All right. Have a good night, everybody. And the Force will be with you always.